Astute. Okay, there we go. But yeah. No, it's cool. I think one thing, there really were a lot of cool exhibits at TwitchCon though, right? Like, did you get a chance to check out some of those as well? Like some of the other exhibits inside?
Yeah, I did. I went through the gaming section and just sorry, I went through the gaming section and we looked around at some stuff and mainly companies, things like Elgato and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But
Nice. And that's a really cool because like there's so much there's so much cool tech on display too. That's
yeah.
yeah. Good call. I like it very much. Hey King, how's it going? Good evening. Nice to see you, King. King Dambreaker. I'm gonna be on the King Dambreaker's raid train this weekend. I'm very excited about that. So
Is that yes. The Scully no, what is the the raid train for?
Spina
Spina
bifida.
bifida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awareness. Yeah. So very good cause, and it's gonna be fun. I look forward to being part of that, and I know some of our friends will be part of that. Like Jerfo will be there too, and will you be on it too? Are you part of this as well?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I just know about it from Jerfo.
Oh, okay. Oh, Jerfo, speaking of which, Jerfo, hello, welcome in.
Hi, Jerfo.
Hello, you wonderful people. Well, hello, you wonderful person. It's good to see you again. Guess I saw Jerfo earlier today on stream. It's nice to see Jerfo back. Yeah, so yeah, Jerfo will be part of this raid train too on Saturday. So our stream will be, I'm gonna say like 11 o'clock to 11 o'clock Eastern, 11 a.m. Eastern until 1 p.m. Eastern. And we're gonna do literally everything on that stream. We're gonna do like all the stuff combined, so it'll be really funny. Yeah, very cool. I do have a lot of questions, and I have questions like about like restaurants in your area. I've got questions about games you played. I mean, this is gonna be a really fun one tonight. Like, I'm really excited to do this. Like,
I'm excited too.
Yeah, folks, I do want to mention before we start officially, Pandaa hosts an interview show too, and it's called and her series is called Wiki Wednesdays on the Rusty Panda every Wednesday night. Usually from just to refresh, it's from 8 o'clock to
8 p.m. Eastern to 10 p.m. Eastern.
That's great. Yeah, it's a good show. Like I love the variety of the guests you've had on, and I can say I've been privileged to be one of them. And yeah, it's really cool to see all the different people that you've got featured as well. Yeah. And Galvos the Green, thank you so much for the follow. It was offline, but I saw it, and thank you so much. It's nice to see you here tonight. Nice meeting you, and you're well, of course, Panda, over at TwitchCon. That was really fun.
Yeah, that was really fun. I just summoned him to get me some water, so he might have stepped away from the computer to get me some.
Oh, okay. No sweat. Well, let's go ahead and start this up. I'm very exciting stuff. Here we go, folks. Once again, we're back with another sandwich Q&A. Let's do the thing. Let's go. Oh, I love it. Hi, everyone. Hello, welcome to November. It's nice to see you again. My name's Davey. I'm the host of the Sandwich Show. And each week on this channel, we feature someone from Twitch and other platforms as we begin another round of Q&A. Tonight's guest, very excited to introduce you all to. Once I get this thing activated. Oh, sheesh. Okay, I got this. That one? Yes, but I need to fix a thing. There we go. Let's say hi to the Rusty Panda. How's it going, Panda? Good to have you back. Welcome in.
Hi.
Folks, if you remember, Panda was really knocking it out of the park a few weeks ago during the IRL karaoke show we did over in Las Vegas, and it was really awesome meeting you in person as well. For those unfamiliar, Panda is a variety streamer. We mentioned the interview series, but Panda's doing all sorts of stuff on stream, and Not not a slouch at all with Ableton Live. I've seen it in person. I've seen it firsthand. It's really cool that you do so many different things on stream. So welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you so much. I'm very, very excited to be here.
Well, we're really excited to have you here. And as I mentioned before, I was also on Panda's show I think it was like maybe a month or so ago. Really fun, and I love your format. It's a really good time. Like it's and King, great to see you in as well. Give our friend a follow and Jerfo as well. So yeah, it's pretty neat. I mean, your journey to Twitch is a very fascinating one because you really do have, and not to borrow a phrase from maybe your contemporaries in Magic, but you are truly a jack of all trades. Like you have done music, you do gaming, you do interviews. Like it's a pretty, like you put the variety in variety streaming. Like it's pretty neat. Like was that always the plan for your channel? Like how did your variety turn about on Twitch?
I actually started on Mixer.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, a lot of my friends and everybody all made the mass exodus from Mixer to Twitch when Mixer decided to become Facebook Gaming. And that was really scary because coming over to Twitch and starting completely over, but because we had a community already going, I was able to start out and at least get a bunch of followers within our own community so that affiliate didn't take too terrible long, which I feel bad because that's not the normal story. As I learned from TwitchCon, the story is usually like I got discovered and then I became partner. And for me, it's just like I was really happy to get to affiliate. Like,
oh yeah,
50 people exactly, and like making sure that my husband watched me all the time, so that way I at least got my concurrent views up and all of that. But as far as like what I plan to stream, in the beginning, it was all games. So I was doing a lot of community games, and so it was like moving out and out of space, Portal 2, Golf with Your Friends, of course.
Yeah, nice. Love it.
Crash Bandicoot Racing, Forza Horizon. It was all, like literally, you name it, anything that was played with other people, I was playing it.
Mm-hmm. Now that's and that's actually pretty useful too because each of these games have their own communities. So over time, I'm sure you've met a lot of different people just from trying these different games out. And so it's kind of neat. It's funny because a lot of those games I recognize. Like I recognize Portal. I've seen Portal on stream. And then Golf with Your Friends. I mean, that just goes without saying. I mean, we do such a big part of this channel now. So that's really cool. Like before we segue into the other parts of your channel, what of those games have you felt the most comfortable with, like over time?
Actually, weirdly enough, had the most comfort when I was doing solo streams of like crosswords. And so I was able to like really interact with the chat a lot more. It was a community. It wasn't community with my friends on Discord. It was community with the people who were in chat. And that completely changed my view on what Twitch could be because I thought that I had to be with other people in order to be successful or to be a good streamer, right? I relied on the strengths of other people and kind of carried myself along. And in situations where suddenly I discovered that I could do crosswords and that I could do solo games, that really changed things for me. So, I don't know. I'd have to say as far as recognizable games, I mean, or like games that I felt I was best at, probably Golf with Your Friends. But then again, I was also worse at that. So like, give it a different day and I could be best or worse. And then any other games, Diablo.
Ooh.
Diablo 3 and Diablo 4. Those are the ones that I have pretty good skill in, and that I enjoy doing.
That's great. I mean, it's cool that you have a knack for the games that you play. I want to say hello to your mod, Infozar, aka Jack, who knows a thing or two about card tricks. What's going on, Jack? It's good to see you. Shout out Infozar. And Lord Choice. So good to see you, my friend. Welcome in. We were hanging out with our good friend, the Rusty Panda, who also does games, much like Lord Choice does. So shout outs to our two friends in chat. And really cool to see the community you've built. And I do think that there's definitely something there. It's really been fun. And I think with Jack being in the chat, it's a good segue to chat about the 4, maybe now 6 pillars of Magic streamers or Magic card trick streamers on Twitch. It's pretty cool. Like
yeah, there's 4 of them right now. We call them the 4 halves of Magic Twitch.
Yep.
There's an up and coming 5th one right now. That she's not doing Magic as much, but she's on her way to become the 5th half of Magic Twitch. And so these guys are amazing at what they do, and I'm honored to mod for all of them. So, yeah.
It's pretty cool. We're going to, in just a second, we'll get into the panel you were privileged to be a part of with Crazy Asian and Gibson Lens. It was pretty neat. But while we do that, Lord says, Davey, trust you're well, semi-lurking baby dudes. Right on, Lord. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Enjoy the lurk. Hope the baby duties go well. All right, friends. So I think it's that time. One of the big things we love to do here on the Sandwich Show is sandwiches. And it is that time again where we introduce to you the Sandwich of the Week. And who better to demonstrate Sandwich of the Week than our latest guest? Let's give it to our friend, the Rusty Panda. And just to preface this a bit, you know, we've always had a very broad definition of the sandwich. So Panda, I'd love to see what you got this week for Sandwich of the Week.
Okay, so people who know me, especially in the talk show that I do, Wiki Wednesday, know that if you say a key word, then I go on a rant for about 20 minutes about what this product should be, how it should be, how it should taste, how it should crunch, how it should everything. And so I was thinking that if you go ahead and fold this in half, this slice o pizza can definitely be called a sandwich, because that's just like a stromboli. And a stromboli is a sandwich, in my opinion, an Italian little roll-up sandwich. So yeah, I'm going with this folded up pizza as a sign of a sandwich. And I will... That's not a Reuben sandwich. No, it's not a Reuben sandwich, E-Rock. By the way, I'm wearing Captain E-Rock's shirt.
Hey, nice. Captain E-Rock, nice to meet you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. So... mods, let's go ahead and shout out our friend Captain E-Rock as well. Snarky Shark says,
Snarky Shark,
welcome in. Fold food equals sandwich. Logic is sound. I think it's sound. Especially the one you have. You have it has a pretty good crust, which means it should support the folding and it doesn't fall apart, which is really good. Let me show you what I got. So we're talking about stretching the definition of sandwich tonight. We're gonna do it too. This is a chicken andouille sausage roll, aka some might construe this as a hot dog. I don't. I think this is a sandwich to me, and it looks good. Like, here we go. We got this. We got the Fritos, and that's what I got tonight. Yeah. Give this a go. So where did you get your pizza from? Like, is it from a local place? Is it from a chain? Like, what kind of spot?
So it's from a local place called Southside Mafia. So you know that it's going to be in my realm of something that I'm going to eat. Now, this is probably one of the best pizzerias that I found in Kansas City, where I'm currently living, because all pizza should come from New York and New Jersey. I'm just saying that right here, right now, that all pizza should just be exported. They say that, you know, like New Jersey has exports of whatever, and New York has exports of whatever, but the answer is pizza. And so it always comes down to pizza. Pizza is currency. Pizza is love. Hey, get you a. I just saw a status today of my friend Christine, who's like, "Hey, I can pay you in pizza if you want to come over here." And she's not talking about Pizza Hut. No, she's talking about a pie, like a
Yeah.
good pie of
Mm-hmm.
pizza.
Nice.
So, and she's in New York. So, pizza is currency. Pizza is love. Pizza is a sandwich. Drop mic.
I love it a lot. I love it a lot. I love how, well, no matter what your opinion is on something, you have such a great explanation. I feel like you'd be a great official in sports. Like, you explain things so well. It's really, really good.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I was a referee for basketball for a little while.
Oh,
until
there you go. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. You must have been pretty good.
I liked it, but then I get really nervous that I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
make the wrong call.
Fair. That's fair. Because, officials get no love. Even in high school levels and, like, pee-wee levels. It doesn't matter what the level is. Like, the refs will always get so much heat for everything.
Yeah, and the parents are just so invested, and I'm like, chill, your daughter is 7 years old. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. King says, this is where we're heading on a Monday regarding the pizza comment. And then Panda drops the mic. Who we raiding? I mean, we could. Let's go. Okay. Thank you, everybody. That was a fun show. But it is really cool to get into this again over on this channel. Like, we did the same thing over on your channel. I've really enjoyed the discussions you've had with so many different people, and they're not exclusively from one kind of streaming genre or another. Like, you've had everybody. Like, I've seen you've had EBX Aaron. Last week you had a very fascinating streamer.
the Virtunaut.
The Merchant. Oh, yeah.
Virtunaut with a V.
The Virtunaut,
and
yeah.
There you go. And yeah, he is like a certified genius.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's so smart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've actually known him since I was 7 years old.
Wow. You're way
Yeah.
that's way back. Yeah, I don't know if I know anybody that far back other than my family, but like that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm glad you've kept it together that long. That's great.
I mean, we went apart for a while because
Mhm.
life and whatever, but just recently he came back into my brother's life,
Yeah.
and it was always my brother's best friend. But then I always was really good at keeping track of my brother's friends because I was always friends with them. And so my brother doesn't do a very good job at communicating to
Oh, yeah.
his friends. Like he has a life, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
Mhm.
sometimes hard to communicate to your friends. And so I just kind of do it for him. And just be like, yeah, he's doing well. How are you doing? Oh, he says he's doing well. How are you doing? Like kind of the middle man.
Now,
But yeah, variety of
that's great.
people on the stream. So I've like somebody like the Virtunaut versus EBX Aaron versus gamers. I've had Captain E-Rock on the stream. I've had Snarky Shark on the stream. Had Galvos on the stream. So I really I have no specifics. I mean, even with you with talk shows, like I want, Ragged World's another one, like just people who are talking to other people and how fascinating that is and how
Yeah.
nobody's competitive about it.
Right. And that's why like I've always been so thrilled anytime I can get a fellow contemporary, a fellow interviewer on the show, because I love hearing about your process. I love hearing about how you recruit people for the show too. And you're right. I feel like we complement each other more than we necessarily compete. Like, I'm not like, oh, my numbers are like 2 better than Vibing. Like, no, I don't do that. Like, I don't care.
Right.
Like,
Right. Yeah. It's a comfortable zone to be in, whereas some people are
Mhm.
in gamers might get really competitive, like, oh, so and so is better at me than in Forza or whatever.
Right.
And then, I have to compete against them, or they'll do fun challenges and things like that. And I feel so comfortable in this niche that it's really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. It is really nice to get, and isn't it really fun to get to know other people? And can you kind of learn a new side of them whenever you have them on the show? I mean, that's certainly been my experience. Do you feel the same?
Absolutely. I learned more. It's funny. So EBX Erin came on and she was like, here are a bunch of things. And I was like, okay, why did you choose to put this on your list? And she's like, because I want to learn more about it. And I was like, Like, that whole concept didn't even appear to me that
Wow.
somebody might want to come on here and learn something on Wikipedia instead of just put something about themselves and then we look it up together. So like I learn new things even about what I'm doing
Yeah,
and
yeah.
how I can better that, and give options to other people, like, well, if you don't have something for yourself, like, let's think of things that we might want to learn together. And now that's a part of it.
That's very innovative on Erin's part, but it doesn't surprise me. Like, she's brilliant. Like,
Yeah.
it makes all the sense in the world. And how did you arrive at Wikipedia as your vehicle for creating the topics for the show? Was that all? Was it just, did that come naturally? Was it just a way to expound upon what people like and what they don't like, and then learning more about it? But was there something specific that inspired Wikipedia's involvement in your series?
So Wiki Wednesday actually derives from an old streamer. He's not old, it's just he doesn't stream anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Called Tipsy Roo. And Tipsy Roo is a puppeteer, or he was a streamer who used puppets on his stream, and it was amazing, and it was original, and it was what Twitch needed. And he came over from Mixer, and so it was just a different world being on Twitch. You know, again, a lot of us had to start over completely. And so he went ahead and did these Wiki Wednesdays. And every single time in all of my YouTubes, in all of my advertisements, it says created by Tipsy Roo, presented by the Rusty Panda. Because I want to give him full credit, even if he never watches it, even if he's not on Twitch right now. I want to give him the full credit that he deserves, that this was his idea initially, and then I've just transformed it into something that works with my format, which is, trying to cap it at a certain hour, or trying to make sure that it's, 15 things they like and 5 things they don't like, and how to work with them on that. And it's just, I learned a lot of things from him, but I also try to make it some of it myself. And I will always go ahead and give credit to Tipsy Roo.
That's really, 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 really noble of you to do. And certainly, if I had discovered a format like that, I would love to give credit. I'm always very keen to give credit to people other than that make it happen, right? And it's huge. It's huge. I mean, I don't like to take credit for something that isn't mine, Like that feels weird. So I love your process. I love that you do that too. Like it's pretty cool that you've had that, and it does open the book to so many different ideas. I think that's one thing about being a talk show streamer that you worry about. Do you worry about the format of your interview show limiting what people can talk about? With Wiki Wednesday, it's absolutely unlimited. Like you can talk about anything.
Yeah, anything. I would say anything Wikipediable. I made up that word. Anything Wikipediable. Because some people will put I hate hatred. I hate,
I take the responsibility. I did that.
Yeah, and that's okay that you do that, but then I have to be like, no, let's go to Wikipedia and then come back and then try to direct them in a way that still gives them the freedom to put down what they want, but it's still searchable. Now, I'm curious for you, and I have a question for you about the format that I chose, which was, how hard was it for you to create your list of 15 things you like and 5 things you don't?
I think one of the things that was interesting about trying to come up with the topics is that I wanted to be as vague as possible, because I wanted to be a little more open-ended and getting into certain topics, because I felt like if I was too specific, I couldn't broach the subject very well. So that's why I was extremely broad with everything I could do. So like you said, I came up with the things I disliked, and it was a little too generic. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's I didn't really even think about, can you look it up on Wikipedia? That's a good point. I think knowing that now, I'm I would definitely do another set of 15. I feel like I'd do an even better job of getting topics. But
yeah, Yeah, no, I think your topics were on par. The reason I asked the question
Hmm.
was because some people say that's one of the hardest things they've had to do
Oh, I
is
see.
come up with 15 things they like and 5 things they don't, because usually
Hmm.
it's 15 things they don't like and 5 things they do in their head, right? It would be much easier to just
Yeah.
rant and rave about things that you don't like
Yep.
than it is about 15 things that you actually enjoy. And so that has always just cracked me up, because
Yeah.
the same thing, I mean, the last few things where there people are just like, "Can I put 15 things I don't like?" And I'm like, "No, you cannot. That is not the rules.
I love this.
This is the old There's only one rule, right?
Hmm.
And it's put 15 things you like and 5 things you don't like. That's the only rule. Otherwise, we'll continue going through Wikipedia. We could stop Wikipedia and just talk for a little bit,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I think it's funny you mentioned that because I had the most trouble finding the 5 things I don't like because I have things I don't like, but I don't like to get into it on this channel. Does that make sense? Like, the Sandwich Show really is built upon trying to keep things upbeat and positive, like as best as I can. And so, it's not to say I just love everything. That's not true, but I don't want to emphasize that. And I think it's been a lot more fun going this route. So when you're presented with like you're asked to come up with things you don't like. Well, I have them, but I also want to present things I don't like that won't derail the show. So because if I'm like the environment, well that's gonna be a downer. I don't want to get into that for 15 minutes.
Yeah. And I make sure that I do things carefully. So like I
Hmm.
even have the list up of the virtue knot, right?
Hmm.
And there are things we didn't get into, which was capitalism. I usually try to stay away from politics.
Hmm.
So capitalism, fashion, uh digital art and writing. This one has hatred on it. And then CSS, which goes along with a lot of the internet and coding stuff that we talked about earlier in the show. I didn't need to go into the dislikes and then say like, okay, we talked about that. Let's talk about your dislike, because they already touched on it,
That's right. I do
right?
remember that.
And
Yeah.
right, and so there's no need for me to repeat things. Bad design. Okay, well, we talked a little bit about AI and stuff. We kind of touched on it. There's no need for me to touch on it again. Now, if we needed more time, like if there was more time to talk, I would add those things in, or I would fish for other topics to again avoid things like capitalism
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
ideal. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like
very keen.
I really try to, yeah.
Yeah, very keen. I know people sometimes can criticize streamers for like purposely trying to limit the amount of politics and things that you talk on the show, but the problem is these topics can alienate people whether they mean to or not, and so it has to be taken with like there has to be a lot of care in how you present something like that. So I think it's good. I think your approach is pretty good in that regard because, as you said, like it keeps things, it keeps everybody included. I think it's always the way I like to interpret that.
You know, said love, I don't know, Britney Spears. Then let's talk about Britney Spears. Let's talk about everything about Britney Spears. That's great. If they're
Hmm.
like, I love Joe Biden, and that's a topic that they bring up, and that's something that I can't, they've already brought it up, then I try my best to be like, okay, why? And then if they try to go into explanations that are completely political, I'll be like, let's rein it back in. If you're talking about that you like the person's hair and that you like the way he walks and that whatever, that's one thing. But if we're
Hmm.
talking about politics, we're going to have to take a step back and we're going to pick a new topic. And I have no problem bringing in those reins, because I really just, politics are just a hard stop for me.
I appreciate your commitment to that. It's not always easy to do because I know people are very passionate, and everybody's got reasons to be passionate about things, so we respect that a lot. And but that's I think it's pretty cool. Like I will say that when you've done what you do, the conversations you've had have been very natural, and it's been really fun. It's been really fun hearing you give people the platform to open up about themselves more. And I don't throw that around lightly. Like I've definitely seen streamers that are not as good at that sort of thing. but you've been very good at making people feel comfortable on your channel.
Thank you. Yeah, so my master's was in College Student Personnel Administration, CSPA,
Mm-hmm.
which basically means of your career counselors, your academic advisors, basically all those people who are trying to get you to graduate, but really are invested in, or should be invested in your future and make you feel comfortable. And one of the things in my master's actually had to do with interviewing. And so we had to tape ourselves interviewing somebody else and then go over that with our professor as far as what needed to change, what postures mattered in a one-on-one case. If your arms are crossed, how that relates, and that you need to open up and sit openly. So like little tactics like that. But then when you're doing it over the webcam, you have to really rely on a sense of compassion, empathy, and all those things and tools I've kind of picked up along the way. And it's only gotten better, not like tooting my own horn, but I've only learned more as I've gone on with this Wiki Wednesday. Because in the beginning, I feel like it was very, if you watch one of the first ones with Farts Are, like it was basically, I was basically like doxing myself left and right. Like we were talking about what used to be around our hometown. Like
Oh, wow.
it was, I didn't know what to talk about. So we just talked about us and we researched it.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's completely different. I like to make sure that the person has their things that they like and that they're comfortable with it. So, I've always just like the arms crossed stigma. I cross my arms a lot, and it's just because it's a natural body language with mood or openness. Could also be that because I'm neurodivergent, but it's still annoying. And I agree with that. I think that if a person's smiling, if they're laughing, I know my dad used to do this, lean back and cross his arms. But if you're in a conversation with a student, it's best that you at least reflect that you are direct, whether or not their arms are crossed. They might get the same want to open themselves up also. But if you're comfortable doing this, then you're comfortable doing this. I'm not going to try to make you put your arms down because that's then making you feel uncomfortable,
Oh,
which
sure.
despite the whole process. So I understand what you're saying, Snarky.
Yeah.
I totally do.
Respect on that front too. Yeah, I understand too. Now as you've been doing these interviews, you've also had other segments. Now, I think we can take some time to talk about your enthusiasm for card tricks, and as you mentioned, the 4 halves, soon to be 5 halves of card magicians on Twitch. When did that come into the picture? Were you always a fan of card tricks going in, or is it something you saw once you were once you were into streaming?
So I absolutely love cards. Every single time we went on a trip, we had cards. We played Crazy Eights. I learned how to play Pinochle. Learned how to play Canasta. I learned how. So like cards for me are very natural. I understand them. They're fun. So flash forward to Fenwa Terrien stream. Okay, and I don't even know how I got to his stream. It had to be through somebody else who then brought me to Fenwa, or it could have been a recommendation. Could have been, I could be throwing around names. It could be Willow Keys brought me to the Pumper Pair, who brought me to Fenwa, who then brought me to Infozar. Right? I mean, 7 points of separation or however it works, and that's how I ended up where I ended up. And Infozar, or Jack, he was being shouted out. Hey, Arcade Chris! He was being shouted out. And they're like, you need to go follow him. He's a magician. And I was like, I'll go follow him. And he pops on one day, and I'm really fascinated with what he does. And so as the streams go on, he's like, I might need a new mod. And I was like, I'll be your mod. Like, I would love to be your mod. And he's like, I can't pay you. And I was like, I don't want to get paid. I don't want anything. I love this magician and magic, and I would love to be your mod. And that's literally how it all started, was me begging Jack to be his mod.
It's a good gig though. Lots of fun.
Yeah.
You learn a lot.
Yeah, and one of the cool things about Jack's streams is that if you are sub to him, you can learn magic in his Discord. So he'll actually teach you first level magic just by being sub to him. So I learned a little bit, like I did that, I learned a little bit, but I was telling Davey earlier, I was like, I really like just being the magician's assistant. Like, I understand how most of the tricks are done. When I don't, I make it known. Like, I'm like, good job, you're doing great. Like, it went over my head, but I've been watching this for 2.5 years now, and there's just certain things. And then, of course, and we'll go into this, TwitchCon, you learn a few more things because Crazy Asian, which is his name, like his username, I don't just want to be like calling. everybody feels really uncomfortable talking about Crazy Asian, right? Because it's just such an uncomfortable spot to be in.
No, I totally understand where you're coming from. Yeah.
So I just wanted to announce that Crazy Asian is actually his username. Or we can call him Nam. That's his name. He's the one who did stuff with us at TwitchCon and taught some first level magic as well.
Yeah, Captain I agree. That's good clarification. Like, that Crazy Asian guy. Like, no, that's not what you're saying. That's his name. It's like his name. Arcade Chris, by the way, give our friend Arcade Chris a follow too. Like, an awesome musician who was part of that same show that you were with, that you were a part of a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah.
Now, how did you get the gig of being on the panel at TwitchCon? That's a big honor, being part of a discussion panel.
So yeah, Nam went ahead and submitted, I would like to be in TwitchCon. I would like to teach some magic. And he submitted that to them. And I had no idea he'd done any of this. And I came into his stream and I was like, hey guys, what's up? And they're like, Pandaa, you might be able to help us out with this one. And I was like, what's up? He goes, you're going to TwitchCon. And I was like, I am. And he goes, I talked to the people at TwitchCon and they said that they would like a woman on the panel when we're talking about magic, and you're a woman and you know about magic, and what do you say? And I was like, abso-freaking-lutely, like, that's amazing. And so he did all of the work as far as the slides and everything. Gibson Lens and I just kind of gave input where needed and learned kind of what we needed to say. But that day I was so nervous and I was so tired because of and we'll talk more about it again with the travel arrangements, that like I needed to have my iPad in front of me with like talking points, because I was out of it. There was no memorizing anything. So yeah, it was a pretty amazing situation. And then I go, well, that's fine, but can I be your mod? And he's like, why? I was like, because that way I'd be a mod for all 4 Magic Twitch. And so I've been his mod I've been mod ever since. So that's how that happened.
That's great. It was so cool that you got, and that he had the ability to mod you too at the same time. And yeah, good move on his part, right? Like, now I'm kind of aced it, no pun intended. I'm gonna be doing a lot of like card jokes.
I love it. You know what? It's just gonna be like, is this your card? Like, we're just gonna, it's gonna be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, so you had 3 card studs up there on the stand and the panel, because Gibson was there too, and
right.
That looked like a lot of fun. I am killing myself for not staying through the whole thing, because the reason I left was a reason that wound up me not amounting to anything. So, because I was trying to get to downtown earlier and it didn't happen because just the traffic was a wreck that day. Like, it was a mess. Like, it was like, looking back, if I could do it again, I just probably would have just stayed through the whole thing and not worried about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But anyway, that was a really, really fun discussion. And it was great to see the chemistry between the 3 of you. And I'm not even sure if you had been together before that panel, like, as a group.
No, we got when on Friday morning we met by the Dunkin' Donuts. And then we talked, we took a selfie,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're like, let's rock and roll. Like, I'll see you later at 5. And so
Wow.
that's just what it was. Like, we
Yeah.
met for a minute and then we talked it out, We talked on Twitch. We did do not Twitch, on Discord. We did do a Discord call.
Okay.
To kind of get the understanding of how we all talk. It's weird. If I have to talk about myself or my experiences or whatever, I feel like I'm fairly well spoken, but when it comes to memorizing things or having to talk about someone else or making sure I hit key points, I get really flustered. Like, I went to a theater school. I went to Performing Arts High School back in Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 years acting, musical theater, dance instead of gym, the whole gambit.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously what you need to do for acting is memorize your freaking lines.
Right.
And that was the hardest part for me with my ADHD and all the other sick problems that are wrong with me. I was missing classes more often. I was unable to even do stuff after school because I lived far away. And then I had to memorize lines that I could barely hold on to. It was embarrassing. So coming forward and having to do this presentation, it was like all that flooded back again. And I was like, please let me have my iPad. I feel like I'm failing this so hard.
But it really did come together, though. I will say, you all look so like such natural speakers up there. And it was really great. And I think it was really cool that you gave everybody, or that as a group you gave everybody cards so they can try the tricks with you. That's just a new dimension I was not prepared for. And is that more pizza? It looked like more pizza.
It is more pizza. You hear the box?
I saw the box.
I saw the box.
I saw the box. Yeah.
You know it's good pizza when it comes in a box like this.
Yes, I noticed that. Yeah. You got the drawing of the
pizza, and it's cardboard, not like flimsy, but like it's like hard cardboard.
That is good.
Looks like it's been through some shit. Like, yeah. Pizza credentials, Davey.
Absolutely. So yeah, big time kudos on that, and really, really cool that all came together. So it's one thing to say, well, we have the Rusty Panda. By the way, why is it the Rusty Panda? Is there a backstory to that?
So I was the Rusty Panda with 1A on Mixer, and I found that name because originally I was Tehi Teji, Tehitegi, which is a very interesting backstory in that it has its own thing, and if you want to hear about it, I'll tell you about it. But it has its own backstory, and then everybody's like, on Twitch or whatever, everybody's like, I can't pronounce that. It's difficult for me as a streamer to pronounce that. Then I feel awkward that I can't pronounce that. And I don't like putting streamers through that. So I went ahead and I was like, okay, well, I like the color rust. That's one of my favorite colors. I think and you'll notice by all the orange and everything like that, that's all over everything. If you told me to pick a color, it'd be orange. And then Panda, because my name's Amanda and my grandma calls me Amanda Panda. And so I went to do the Rusty Panda on Twitch, and it was freaking taken.
That's wild.
And I was like, what? How is this possible? I made this up. Like, there's no way that somebody else was like, I like the color rust. Well, I went ahead and did some scoping. I probably shouldn't have done this, but I did. And I added the Rusty Panda and with 1A and the Rusty Panda, or just Rusty Panda, like 2 of them. And I go into they rarely stream, both of them, but I go into one of their streams. It's like a no cam gamer stream, so I don't even know what they look like, and I'm like, hi, and somebody's like, wait, did you just write in your own chat? And I was like, what? And then I was like, hi, I'm the Rusty Panda with 2 A's. And they're like, hi, how are you? And I was like, I just want you to know that I exist. And I never said this, but I was like, and you took my username.
I was going to say.
And, but I wanted them to know that I existed. And then same for the other panda that I went into, they said that their name was Rusty.
Okay.
They actually went by the name Rusty.
Right, that makes sense, yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it became 2 A's because I didn't want it to be like, X the Rusty Panda X, or, do you do, the Rusty Panda. Like, there was all these different ways I could have redone my name, and I was like, let's just make it 2 A's. It's a talking piece. Everybody goes, the Rusty Panda, so it's a talking piece, but it's also, I always say, the extra A's for amazing. So there you go.
It tracks. You're absolutely right. Very much amazing, folks. By the way, we should. Oh, Chris, good to see you, Chris L. Cox. What's going on, my friend? Nice to see you,
Chris Cox. Yeah.
By the way, if you are seeing Panda for the first time tonight on this channel, please give our friend a follow. There's the link, and literally does it all. It's pretty cool. Like, I think the only thing I haven't really seen specifically is like food tasting or some kind of like food segment. But if you have done it, great. Let us know, because like that sounds like a fun time too.
To do a food segment?
Yeah, like here I'm gonna try these snacks, like something like that.
Oh yeah, no, I would definitely rate pizzas.
Yeah, ooh, speaking my language, I do love pizza.
But yeah, I could do that as a daytime rate, because there's a streamer out there. His name is Irumakim, and he does things with his metal detector. He'll go out and get things with his metal detector. He'll go and do puzzles on stream with other people, and then he'll go ahead and rate things like Kinder Eggs and like rate Pop-Tarts. And
yeah,
it's amazing.
Hero, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, that's actually he's very true to the variety streamer tag. Like, yeah, I've seen him do games. I've seen him. Yeah, you're right. Pretty keen. A lot of IRL streams too, like you said. So
yeah.
Jamie, yes, I'm sorry to say, my sandwich is in my belly now. But I had a chicken andouille sausage it's kind of a baguette. It's more of a sausage roll tonight. And yours was a pizza folded over.
Pizza,
nice.
Yes, folded over, and I could eat it sideways.
Yes,
like a sandwich.
Yeah. But good to see you, Jamie. Thanks for joining us tonight. I hope the VOD will have it though once we get it, once we rate it out. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Thank you for sharing that story and going and then calling people out like, did you know you took my name? Like,
such a me thing to do, because it's not passive aggressive. Like, I'm genuinely trying to be friendly, but I really wanted nothing more than for them to know that I exist and that they might have taken my username. That's all. I'm not, angry about it. I just want them to know that I exist.
Just kind of let them think about it. It's like, oh,
right, exactly. There you go. You get it.
Yeah. For sure. So the A being amazing. I mean, in addition to all of the above, you're also an amazing singer. Like, we saw it and the karaoke. Like, that's pretty cool. Like, now you've mentioned doing karaoke before. Is that a regular thing in your life? Was that something you used to do?
I end up doing karaoke whenever a bunch of drunk girls want me to go out with them.
Yeah.
So
what kind of stuff do? What's up? We got a lot of.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good to see you, Andrew. No, that's the perfect time to do it. But you did mention your theater upbringing too, though. So it sounded like you were made to do that sort of thing anyway, because I imagine you've auditioned for parts, you've been in productions. I mean, what was that experience like?
Yeah, so I've been in several productions. Again, the hardest part was that I was so sick throughout high school too, that like they almost tried to make me not graduate because I had missed exactly 30 days of school, even though I had a doctor's note for pretty much all of them. and I had a 4.02 GPA because I took honors classes. So Mama Bear was not happy about that, came into school and put her foot down, and I was able to graduate. But that's my point, is that I was sick a lot.
Oh, I
and that
gotcha.
makes it very hard to be in performances or, whatever. I had strep throat once. I was in a production of Mousetrap, and I had throat. And I was out of class on Friday. I went home early, and because I went home early, that says that you cannot do extracurricular activities afterwards. Therefore, I was not allowed to be in the play. And for the Saturday, I was also not allowed to be in the play.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So
Yeah.
I was like, what is this school? Like, this is so backwards. But
Yeah.
I mean, as far as singing and solos and stuff, I mean, tons of musical theater, tons of auditions.
Yep.
We went hard. When we did West Side Story, the girl we casted as Anita went on to go to Broadway. Like, that's how hard we go as far as our productions. And I was in On the Town, which is, New York, New York. So that's where that came from, is On the Town.
Mm-hmm.
And I was put in a very awesome role where I didn't really have any lines. I sang my lines, and I sang as a drunk singer who, I forget, it was like Lady something. And I sang as this drunk singer in this bar where the fellas were. And it was so much fun. And I was like, this is the first time that theater has been like really fun for me. But I'll tell you one thing, because I keep rambling. I'll tell you one thing. I found my voice senior year. I was always very timid. I was trying to be a soprano. I don't know why. If you could hear my voice, it's fairly low. But I wanted to be a soprano because all the girls are sopranos, and altos were harmonies, and those were hard. And we get sheet music every week to sing from our voice class, and they were like, you can pick from a few female songs, and I recognized one of them, which was "Put Your Records On" by Corinne Bailey Rae.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I know this song. I could sing this song. And so I went up in front of everyone. I sang the song. Apparently minds were blown. And I'm not tooting my own horn or anything. It's just apparently everybody was in shock about it. And they're like, why haven't you sung like this all along? And my teacher was like, oh my God, we have to get you in jazz band. And all of a sudden I started singing things like Misty and all the good jazz songs. I sang with the jazz band. I applied for music school, William Patterson for jazz, vocal jazz. Like, I sang with a jazz band in college, not a jazz band like a jazz band like a literal band that practiced and they played jazz.
Ooh.
Like that, yeah. So that was just so much fun, and that led me to such a confidence boost that I could at least know that there are a handful of songs out there that I can sing well. The end.
I think it's more than a handful. I mean, honestly, the range you had in the songs you sang on that night was really impressive. Like, let me catch up in chat. And not only that, see, now that you mentioned this, your background in musical theater, like everything I've seen from you now tracks, because I'm like, you had a presence on the stage too, and also the song you did with Galvos, like that was really, really fun. So, but Henry says, can't give her amazing singer, the best kind of karaoke, singing out with friends. I mean, honestly, that's the thing. I want karaoke to be like that. I don't want it to be like an American Idol type thing. Like, that's not really what it's about. So I think that was a great in the spirit. Henry says, my school had the same rules, but I missed a couple of band concerts because of that rule. And let me say, they really don't like it when first chair trombone can't do the concert. Oh
my gosh. That cringe. I feel so bad.
Oh, my heart.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Andrew. It is really great to see you again. And Andrew, I mean, our friend Arcade Chris is also in chat tonight. So we've got a lot of our karaoke group together in one spot. It's just pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it's fun to see how much involvement that a lot of this group has had, legit, like had in concert band, in marching band, in theater productions. And like, I shouldn't be surprised, but it is really cool to kind of see that, realization. So really great. I mean, let's actually swing this to random questions, and we'll keep going with the music topic, because we talked a lot about music on your show, and I had a lot of fun getting into like indie music of the 2000s. Like that was unlocking a part of my life I had not unlocked in a while. It was really cool. Yeah. You did choir too. Well, I mean, that tracks. Your singing is great. Like,
yeah, your singing was awesome.
Yeah, for sure. But yes, folks, let's get to it. It's time to give you all the floor to ask questions, and we do it in what we like to call America's favorite moment. Once I push this, bring this button up here, in Twitch broadcasting. Do the dance. It's time for random questions. Good stuff. Ask us anything. All right, let's do it. So, friends, if you want to ask a question of Panda tonight, use exclamation point question plus the question plus your question, and enter it into the chat, and we'll queue the questions one by one in order. And you can ask similar to what Panda does on our channel. You can ask about many different topics within reason. We got into that earlier in the show, but yeah, we'd love to hear from you. Please ask away. As you can see, Panda's done all sorts of cool things. You can ask about games. You can ask about pizza. You can ask about choir and theater and all sorts of stuff. I noticed over your shoulder you have a Broadway. It looks like a tier list. It's probably not a tier list, but it looks like a tier list of Broadway productions. I mean, it's
actually a giant mouse pad.
Ah.
That we pinned to the thing. But yeah, it's got a bunch of them.
I mean, how would you? Oh, we got a lot of questions already. Okay. Ooh, I love these questions. I particularly like Henry's question. This is great. Let's go ahead and start. So, first question from King says, autograph when? Oh, well, King, you have to go to TwitchCon. I'm just kidding. Next TwitchCon. Like,
yeah.
But that's sort of something that King likes to do. Yeah. I mean, do you do autographs for people sometimes?
I only did when I was on the Town and when I did a jazz solo.
Ooh.
So that was the only time that like a little girl came up to me and she was like, "Can I have your autograph?" And I was like, "Oh my God, you can have anything you want."
Aww.
Like, it just was
love it.
Absolutely precious.
Well, definitely reach out to our good friend King. I think King would also like an autograph, and I can imagine. Hopefully, I know that's King will let you know more about that. But anyway, so yeah, thank you, King, for your question. Let's go to Henry's question. This is a question I've always wondered about my friends too. So Henry, Henry asks, what's your favorite kind of cookie?
My favorite kind of cookie, which no longer exists, is a banana split Oreo.
I never heard of it.
So the filling was banana split.
Uh-huh.
You know how they have different fillings every year, like peanut butter and all that stuff? Yeah. Banana split was the inside, and then chocolate Oreo on the outside. And at the time, I worked for a grocery store, and I wouldn't have lunch. I would just buy an entire thing of Oreo banana split and just scarf it down for lunch.
Wow.
Like, that to me was the most ultimate cookie. Now, if I had to pick a cookie, I would say, I'm like tasting them in my mouth, rating them. As far as my favorite cookie, I would say now, Galvos, do you have the answer to this question? He knows more about me than I do. What is my favorite type of cookie? Usually anything that's like kitchen sink cookies. You know, salted caramel would be one of them. If there was like a black and white cookies,
yeah,
yeah,
classic.
So
I'm
yeah, I
jealous.
mean, and not sourdough. What's the not the white cookie? What's like the tan cookies? The Give me a second. I struggle with words sometimes. The Sara Lee's. Uh,
I kind of think. I mean, there is one I do want to recommend myself, and I'll see if you might. Maybe it might conjure up a memory. Oh, did I do that? I might have done that. Nope. There you are. Okay. Um. Oh, that's weird. That might be my fault though. I might have done that. Let me. Yeah. Okay. I'll fix that. Let me just move it over here. Okay. There we go. That fixes it. Okay. So I like one of the cookies I like a lot is Pepperidge Farm. It's called Milano cookies.
oh yes, very good.
Mm-hmm. Really, really good. Let me show you what those to the audience what this looks like. And yeah, it's kind of amazing. That's not the one you're thinking of though, or was it?
No, it's all right. I'm typing it in.
Okay.
It's not
Do that. I'm gonna go over here, and I'm gonna see if I can grab this
shortbread. There we go.
Oh,
Man,
shortbread.
I don't know what that was. I kept trying to say sourdough, and it was really throwing me. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
shortbread. But those are good. The dark chocolate ones are those, the Milanos.
Yeah.
Oh, those are like heaven.
Good times. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There are Lorna Dunes, I think is what you were thinking of.
Yes, Lorna Dunes. Yeah, I typed in Sara Lee and it works, but Lorna Dunes was the answer. And I'll tell you why this cookie
These
is
are
so
good.
good to me. Like why these are champ cookies, even though that they are so simple.
Mm-hmm.
I was really sick once, shocker, and I was in the hospital because I had a sinus infection go behind my eye.
Mm-hmm.
So they were going to do surgery because they didn't want it to affect my eye.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm laying in bed in the hotel. Yeah, okay. It might have been the hospital, perhaps. And my grandma walks in, very Italian, and brings me some Laura Dunes. And I was like, shortbread. It's not a chocolate chip cookie. So it gets put over by the window, and it's like February. And so all of a sudden I was like, Mom, can I have one of those cookies over there? Like, it's all I got right now. She gives me one of the cookies, and because it's cold, you have to eat them cold. They are so good cold.
Really?
I have no idea why, but I had that cookie experience, and I was like, oh my God. This is one of the best cookies I've ever had.
It's kind of amazing how a factory cookie like that can be so succulent. That's sort of my takeaway from the Lorna Dunes. Like that just takes me back to when I was like 6. Because I think they are. Do you find them harder to find nowadays?
Yeah, I haven't really looked for them.
Yeah.
To be honest, I haven't really. I mean, as far as cookies, it's like if I'm out and I see a chocolate chip cookie, then maybe I'll get one. But like we don't bring cookies into the house because we'll eat them.
No, that's a good point. This is the struggle we all have with candy this time of year too, right? Like we need to get rid of them.
I didn't buy any candy whatsoever this year. I'm very proud of myself.
That's smart. I like it. Steven says, I love those cookies. Yeah, those Lorna Dunes are amazing. Like, really, they really hit the spot. It's good to see you again, Steven. Shout out, Steven, friend. I want to give a shout out to Brad Lauren Ipsum, who's cheered 127 bits. Thank you so much, Brad, for your bits. And it's really great to see you again, my friend. I will denote that we are now less than 500 bits away from the spicy pizza stream because we've been talking about pizza anyway. Like, that's phenomenal. Thank you so much, everybody.
Right below me. And I was like, that is so fitting.
Absolutely. So apropos. Like, it's serendipitous.
Yes.
Gosh, I mean, you labeled some great ones. Like, so yeah, the Milano and the Lorna Dunes are two of my favorites as well. I do like just regular Oreos. Like, when they're fresh, I don't know if there's been a lot of speculation how they changed the manufacturing process for Oreo. Because I do remember when I was little, like, Oreos did taste different. But maybe it's all in my head. I'm not sure.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. To
Yeah.
be honest, they might have changed it to make it work with the new flavors that come in. So
Maybe.
like, yeah.
Yeah. It's not bad. I see what you're saying. Like to make him like more work better with like other. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's like.
different sweetness levels and stuff to kind of
Yeah.
dial into different like
Okay.
you wouldn't want a super sweet cookie going with the peanut butter like you'd want more of a
Right.
savory type taste. So
Savory Oreos. I've never tried those. That would be interesting. It could be good.
peanut butter would count as savory,
Oh,
no?
okay,
Or
okay,
is
okay.
that
I guess that. Yeah, you're right. That would count. You're right. Good point. How do you like Nutter Butters? Like, are Nutter Butters like in your
Oh yeah,
wheelhouse?
but you have to peel them apart. People who just eat them straight up are animals. Are
Ah,
you an animal? It's okay if you are.
I
I'm not
might be
saying
an
that
animal.
negatively.
Yeah, I've done
You just
both.
eat them with a wafer?
I've done them both ways. I've done them both ways. Like I can't. I don't really keep track of it, but I think I've done. I'm pretty sure I've done both. Like I've eaten them like the way, like straight up, done the animal thing, but I've also done it. You're the red.
Sorry, I
The
didn't mean it's just
no, it's okay. No worries. No worries. Um, yeah, I love that though. So Henry, thank you for your question. Like, and by the way, what is your favorite kind of cookie? My favorite kind of cookie are those chocolate chip. Chocolate by chocolate is one that I really enjoy, which is basically a chocolate cookie with white chocolate chips in there, and sometimes with nuts. Oh, snickerdoodle.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of good ones. A lot of good ones. Um, so yeah. Thanks for the question, Hendu. Arrow Jinx 0520, welcome in. It's nice to see you. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. And the question from Arrow Jinx is, what PC game would you recommend for newbies, like 8 and up?
Slime Rancher
It's a great game.
for sure.
Great call.
That would definitely be one of them. That's a real easy game to get a kid into because like Slime Rancher 2 specifically, you can turn off the tar slimes. And what a tar slime is when one of one type of slime mixes and another type of slime and they come together, they make a big slime. Okay, so that's pretty easy. 1, 2. If you get a third slime in there of a different variety, it creates something called a tar slime, which will then start to destroy all the other slimes and such. So, yeah, I would go ahead and say Slime Ranchers 2 would be a real good game. Um, that a kid could play 8 and up because it's very understandable. There's slight story, but then there's also or Slime Rancher 1 is good too. You can't turn off the tar slimes, but if you play with them, it's fine.
I think Streamin also said Stray, which it's a good call.
It's very sad.
Aw, I guess it's fair.
It's a good game, but it is a very sad game, and that might upset an 8-year-old.
Oh, that's fair.
But it's still a good game. It's still a good game. Like it's emotionally capable for an 8-year-old to go through.
Yeah, it's a very good point, actually. Yeah, it's a very emotional game. Absolutely. Thank you for your question, Arrow. That's a terrific question. Steeman says, doesn't everything taste different from when we were little? Our taste buds were so much more sensitive. I would subscribe to that because I definitely feel like things taste different today than they did when I was that young. So I think so.
I mean, you also learn different, like your taste buds change over time anyway. So it's like a you thing where Oreo might change, but it also might just be us. Because like the other day, and by the other day, I mean literally yesterday, I had a caprese salad. Now I always just eat the mozzarella. That's it. I don't like tomato. I don't eat tomato. Tomato's not my friend. But these tomatoes came from my sister-in-law's garden. They looked very different. And I was like, you know what? I eat bruschetta, which are the tiny tomatoes. I eat bruschetta. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to try some of this with these mozzarella pieces. And I did. And it didn't suck. I'm not saying that I would go ahead and seek out this, but I had a very enjoyable dinner having those tomatoes with that fresh mozzarella. So I don't know. Taste buds change because I would have swore off tomatoes a million years ago. I would never touch them.
Amazing. Like it just shows that even as time goes on, your taste buds can continue to change and evolve and appreciate different things. Like that's pretty cool. That'll never end, it seems. So that's pretty cool.
But you also have to be willing to try
Yeah.
things again.
Yeah. Yeah, very
So
true.
people are like, "Oh, when I was a kid, I hated such and such," and it's like, "Well, you're 32 now. You should maybe try it again and see if you like it."
Yes.
Like you could totally not like it again, but that's fine. But like, try it.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And does it frustrate you to see people who never change the kind of things they eat? They're really picky, and they're the things they eat are limited to like really basic foods, like like pepperoni pizza. And pepperoni, we love pepperoni pizza. Just to be clear,
Right.
pepperoni pizza. I don't know, like cheeseburgers, like kitty food,
Chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets. Yeah, that's the number one. Like one. It's like you're just resigned to a life of chicken nuggets, and like we love chicken nuggets, but there's more to food than chicken nuggets. Like.
Yeah, my dad was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We would go and we would have our daddy-daughter dates at a sushi restaurant. And we'd get like the bento box so that way I can get like a Philadelphia roll. And then he got a kidney transplant, so he couldn't have any raw fish. So he would normally have like a shrimp tempura roll. Regardless, we go ahead and be eating our sushi and it's different and it's whatever. But like he always got the shrimp tempura roll. Okay, I get it. You don't want it mixed with fresh fish because that could be a problem. But like there are other rolls with cooked fish that you can go ahead and have. But he had his shrimp tempura roll. Then we go home, and he gets older and he's more bedridden. And every single day he makes himself 3 chicken tenders from the Tyson brand that were coming from the specific Tyson brand with his Ken's honey mustard every single day for lunch. And I'm like, Dad, you used to eat like all sorts of sushi. We used to call you Chef Luch because you would go ahead and eat all sorts of things, and make all sorts of food. And then you're just kind of resigned to one type of food again. And I feel like that was his resistance to like not wanting to try new things as an older adult.
Wow.
Like he was just like, I know I like these things, so I'm going to stick to these things and this is what I'm going to eat.
Oh man,
So,
I pity. I feel pity there a little bit. Like,
yeah.
well, I mean, it's too bad. I mean, it is what it's all right. I mean, I don't want to judge people either, but I can feel your pain in that, like knowing you
Right.
can eat different things and you choose not to.
Right.
And
Yeah, and you did, and now you don't, and you're
that's
like,
almost
oh my
worse.
gosh.
Yeah.
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 Like those older people who are like stuck in their ways, and they always say if you're younger, then you're more ability to like have different opinions about things can change, but then when you're older, like you're can't teach an old dog new tricks kind of thing. And I hope I'm never that way because I
Yeah.
want to try new things all the time, forever and ever.
Great attitude. Great attitude.
Yeah.
I'm certainly hoping that I stay that way. But I think it does look like you're very much on path to do that based on like all the different things you're doing on stream, which is really great. And we haven't even gotten to the Ableton yet. Like, we didn't even get into that yet.
I know.
We shall in a minute. But Steven says homegrown tomatoes are the best, which that must be amazing. I don't really eat them very much, but that sounds so good. And King with another question. I love this question. King's question is, what are your thoughts on performing at Carnegie Hall?
So if I correctly, our chorus did.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Because we would go right up to New York,
Mm-hmm.
and there were chorus concerts or there were chorus competitions. And I'm pretty sure that Carnegie Hall was one of the places that we went to.
Mm-hmm.
Because we would go to Broadway shows. We would do a double header. We would see 2 Broadway shows, one during the day, one at night, and then they kind of like sent us around like trust system around Kansas City, New York City.
Mm-hmm.
So like as long as you have 3 people, like you're allowed to go anywhere you want, just be back by this time because we need to go to
Mm-hmm.
the Little Mermaid show. So like we were not we knew New York City. And I really want to say of all the workshops we did, I'm almost certain we did a chorus concert or a chorus competition at Carnegie Hall.
That's pretty iconic stuff. How'd you feel out there doing that? Or
Uh yeah, chorus has always been crazy.
mm-hmm.
And we had a big chorus
Mm-hmm.
because it was a performing arts high school, plus the people who were in the school itself also came over for the chorus. So we had a really big chorus. I'm trying to I have to like double check my Facebook while we're talking here because I can type in Carnegie
Mm-hmm.
Hall and it'll come up.
I wonder what kind of a performance it was. Like, is it just a general jazz type? I'm trying to remember if this was.
No, this would be like uh singing in German
Oh,
and that sort of stuff.
okay.
Carnegie.
I remember walking by Carnegie Hall when my first trip to New York City. It's a really beautiful building. Like it's
Yeah.
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 Highly recommend at least walking to the outside of it, if nothing else. Like if you're ever in town, like it's really great.
Um yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to keep looking.
Okay.
I don't want to say that I remember being like Carnegie Hall is off of my list, but I can't tell you and I don't want to be a liar, so I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
see
Well,
what I can do there, but
it's all right. I mean, like you said, like there are a lot of memories happening at the same time, and a lot of things are happening at the same time. So it's understandable to not have a complete like timeline in that situation. But pretty cool. Like if I'm gonna take another one of King's questions and like spin it at you. If you could name some of the bucket list venues you would like to. Well, there are two versions of this question. This one is, what are some of the bucket list venues you would like to attend a show in? And the other hand, the other version of that question is, what are some of those venues that you would like to perform in? You know, do a concert or do karaoke. I guess you could do that. But I mean, to do choir or even do like a stage production.
and yeah, by the way, I sang at Carnegie Hall with my chorus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm looking back at
Mm-hmm.
the pictures now.
Cool.
Okay. So, your question was what place would I want to perform in? Yes?
Yeah, like what are some of the places you have dreamed of like doing performances in or singing or even just doing a monologue or really anything? Like I'm not sure what kind of show you'd want to do at these places, but are there any places you feel like you would love to put on a show for, you know?
I traveled with an a cappella group as their videographer and sound designer. And this was back in high school. And we toured around the East Coast and such.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of great venues that we went to. And one of them was in I'm trying to remember. One of them was in New Jersey and it was in Asbury Park and I can't think of the name, but it's right by the Stone Pony if you've ever heard the Stone Pony.
I've heard of it. Interesting.
It's a place where basically like bands would play in Jersey, and it's a smaller venue, but like if you play the Stone Pony, you're playing against like a bunch of famous bands that have gone through there. And so it's right across the street from that, and I remember remembering the acoustics were so good, but I also remember how beautiful the theater was, and I'll have to look this up. But we climbed inside the walls of the theater because it was so old. It had all of these like ladders and stuff inside the walls.
Wow.
And yeah, and
Yeah.
so we as the tech team explored this whole old thing. I mean, like there's no reason we should have been doing this. The ladders were old and creaky. We could have fell down at any time and like died. But you're a teenager, so you're like, what the hell?
Wow.
And I remember just seeing the inside of this theater from the inside, basically the literal inside walls of the theater, and being like, man, the construction of this place is really flippin' cool. Like the construction of most theaters that I've been to, I've never really like noticed before. And then as soon as I did that, every single time I've gone to a concert in a theater or whatever, like I look at the walls, I look at the ceiling, I look at the balcony, because it's beautiful. Like some of these theaters are beautiful, but some of these theaters also have really shitty acoustics. So like you have to like figure out what theater is actually a good one.
Yeah. If have you? I'm assuming at this point you've attended a show or two at Radio City Music Hall. How would you evaluate the acoustics there?
Oh, it's great. I do love Radio City. I'm trying to remember if at one point Cats was there too, the show Cats. But obviously the Rockettes, I've seen the Christmas show before many times. Madison Square Garden,
Yeah,
I've seen Pink Floyd. I've seen at Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
They did the Wall concert. Now obviously you're like, Amanda, you're 32. How did you see the Wall concert? Well, Roger Waters went ahead and did a concert in 2018. No, 2018. What am I saying? 2008 or 2011, and was did a whole like instead of in the moment. Instead of having bricks that they used to put on the wall, I don't know if you've ever seen videos of the Wall concert.
I know
they literally put bricks of the stage. They put bricks virtually in the background, and as they built the bricks, they had imagery coming through, and like the visuals were so phenomenal that they had like the giant puppet thing, but it wasn't actually there. It was on the screen. And then when they did Tear Down the Wall, they did it about the war that was going on currently instead of the Berlin Wall. And they showed like faces of people in war and like Bring the Boys Back Home, and like it was just, I'm getting chills. It was one of the best concerts I've ever seen, and it was at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, I've seen footage of that, of the new age wall, and the effect is it's unbelievable. Like it's it's really, really good. I know our friend Kenny, who did Kenny's Prog Rock Jukebox, has shown that video on his channel before, and I think even like when he was on with me, like we were watching that clip. Like it's amazing stuff. Like it's amazing stuff. So seeing that live must be even more amazing, because you get the full like the full spectacle of the lights and the color. Like that's amazing.
Yeah, it was, and it wasn't terrible seats either. It was completely my dad's best friend was the one who got all these tickets, and I guess two of their friends couldn't go. And so they're like, if you can pay for your ticket or half your ticket, because I was a college student, there's no way I'm paying for that ticket.
Yeah.
But if you can pay for that ticket, or your friend of yours can go as well, and the two of you can go. So me and my friend Ryan went, and we were at different sections of seats than my parents were, and it was great. It was just a great concert.
I love it. I love it a lot. So just to make it to the comment from Chris L. Cox, I used to work across the street from Carnegie Hall, would get lunch about once a week from Carnegie John, who had a food cart in the backside of Carnegie Hall. That sounds like a legend
Cool.
in its... Yeah. Did you ever see this cart? Like, I never knew about this cart. That's pretty interesting.
No.
Interesting. Not bad. Not bad. King has a hydrate. Let's do it. Thank you, King. Good old water. But yeah. Anybody else with a question for Panda? I mean, really great questions tonight so far. So thank you so much for sending in everything you've sent in. But yeah, thank you. Let me see. Do I have anything I can ask? Let's see. Ableton, yeah, we Ableton product. Yes. So, that's a fun thing I've seen you do. Now, when going into how long have you been doing Ableton live looping on stream?
Less than a year.
Okay.
So I'm very new at it. It was suggested to me by the Virtunaut. And they were like, this is what I use. This is, what you should use if you're going to have your own music. And I was like, okay. And so I started to learn it on the free version. And then the free version was like, you can't save your song. And I was like, screw you. I made such a good song and there's nothing I could do about it. So I was like, all right, let me get the dummy version. And I'm not saying like it's a dumb version. I'm just saying like it helped me learn. It was step one. And so I got that version and I was able to create some stuff, but I was getting really frustrated at the lack of bars that I could create.
Oh, sure.
Because with the music that I was trying to do, I'm very visual, and so I was really trying to stack it out. And you get capped at 8, whereas the Ableton that I have is capped at 16. Or no, it's capped at 16, and the one I have is at 32. It's one of those. I have more bars, is my point. I have more lines. And so there's this piano over here that I actually got by having a small fundraiser on stream and saying like, hey, I play guitar really awful. I would love it if I got a piano, and then with MIDI and I'd be able to actually like make some music. And one of my community members just literally threw $100 at me and goes, go ahead and get the piano. I was like, what? Okay.
Wow.
Okay. He's like, I believe in you enough. Go ahead and get the piano.
Oh, that's wonderful. What model is it?
So now it is a DEK 610 electronic piano. So it's not, it's a Donner. So it's not huge by any means as far as like
it's a solid choice though, like especially if you're using it for Ableton, like a controller like that serves very, very well for Ableton, I would think.
Yeah it's only, what did they, I'm really crappy at music. It's not an 82 key, right? It goes up to 82 or 84. 88 or 88 keys. That's fine. I'm in the 60s.
Oh, that's just fine for a DAW or for any kind of like for any kind of Ableton. That's perfect. Yeah, you don't need 88 for that.
Yeah, it's just, it freaks me out because as I'm learning, because I learned from an app called Simply. When I'm learning, it's weird because I have to be all the way to the left to set my fingers on C. Whereas it would feel more comfortable if I was sitting in the middle. So, like, I have to, like, scooch my body over to get that as my center.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's not... It like you said, it does the job.
Oh, yeah, 100%. You know? And do you have any other device... Well, but let me get to... Dallas Arlo. Hello, Dallas. So good to see you. Kinks is GG regarding your meeting your funding goal. Dallas Arlo says, that's amazing, which it really, really is. And Dallas says, I have 88 keys and it's way too big. LOL. Yeah, it's fair. That's fair.
Probably be too big for what I have and the space that I'm using, because this room is actually very small. And Galvas has his own section over there. But it's like I have dual screen and a corner desk, so it doesn't take up much space. He has a very tiny desk. Oh my god, this sounds awful. He has a good sized desk, okay? It's a good sized desk. It's not a tiny desk. but it's I have to be careful how I say that. But it only supports one monitor.
Mm. Gotcha.
Thank you, Iraq. I knew Iraq would laugh at that.
Funny.
But he only has one monitor. So we just got him a new desk off of Marketplace for like $35.
Mm.
And it's gonna take up most of the room. Like we're gonna have to move the printer. Like it's gonna take up most of the room. But he's got the better gaming computer right now, and I want him to be able to have dual screen for what he's doing. So, and I'm looking for a new computer. So that's my new fundraising goal. It's, Black Friday's coming up and I'm going to try my best, but like this one's a server computer from 2009.
Oh, wow. Okay. I used to have one of those, so I can imagine if you're still using it, it was really good at the time. So that's a great run, I'll say.
Yeah.
And I don't really, yeah, I mean, that is pretty good. But certainly, I hope you do meet your, I hope you can raise the funding to get a new computer, because that would be amazing. That would be open some doors for you, I imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, they do a lot of funding now, which we're very fortunate is to this day and age, where we're able to do, sorry, not funding, payment plan.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's easier to do payment plans now than it is to sometimes buy it outright. And sometimes they don't even have interest. They just want you to buy the product. So like in order to get to TwitchCon, we had to do a payment plan for Southwest, because the two of us would cost about $900 to get to TwitchCon, and we didn't have $900, but we could pay $125 a month until it got paid off. And that didn't worry about interest or anything like that. It was just to get it paid off.
That's great.
So I've been told that Amazon has some good computers that you can go ahead and do, like, what is it called? Layaway or payment plans or whatever. I just found one on Newegg that I'm obsessed with that I want. It's $1,000. It's on sale from like $1,500. And it's $92 a month if I want it. Like, so bad. But I'm not allowed to touch finances until the payment plan of my life comes together. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely important to make sure that we don't get too, anyone gets too crazy with finances, right? So I think it's good strategy, but I do hope you can manage the financing for that. That's going to be, it sometimes can even make you money at a certain point. You know what I mean? Like if you can open doors and you can do more production and you can even start making music for other people, that's a good investment, I think. So.
And I want to be able to play my games again.
Right.
The problem is that my games are literally freezing on screen and shutting down the whole computer.
Yeah.
It locks up.
Oh yeah, it's inevitable. Like the longer you have a computer, the more that's going to happen. So,
right.
Well, it's the way of gaming, but still, you're doing pretty well. I mean, I'll be cheering for you to are you going to do any subathons or anything like that to help raise money or anything like that? That'd be fun.
Right now, see, the problem is that I'm mainly doing Wiki Wednesdays, and I don't want to put that pressure on Wiki Wednesdays because it's not about me; it's about the streamer.
Yeah, I think that's I hear you there.
So I have to add more streams in, which means obviously more Ableton, but then that also means that I should do more game streams, but I can't do more game streams because my computer doesn't support games. So I want to do a subathon, and I could try to do a subathon. Like, I would love to get your input on how to do a subathon because I don't even know.
I'm not really sure. I'm not sure what I can really offer as far as a subathon straight away, because that's. Oh,
you don't have to do it right now. I just mean like in your future. I'd love to pick your ear on like how you've gotten your community to support you in that way.
Oh yeah. Oh absolutely. I'd be glad to chat with you about that. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, 100%. Oh, and that's where it can be fun too. Like it you can utilize. It really takes advantage of your creativity to come up with goals, and it can be really fun. Um, let's see. Yeah, definitely. King says Maestro was pretty successful, I think.
Yeah, he got Vegas paid for.
Yeah.
In order to get there, and the tickets, that was all paid for in one subathon. He did a 12-hour stream.
Yeah. Dallas says, I'm trying to save up for a new Mac for Logic. My old laptop constantly crashes the DAW. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, big oof. And what's up, Dark? So good to see you. Well, hello there. Shout out Dark and Dallas Arlo. Good to see you both again, my friends. Yeah, Dark is I think Dark's got a. I think I saw at one point you had a keyboard too, Dark. I'm not 100% sure, but I thought I saw one, and but I hope you're doing well anyway. How would you describe your piano playing, or like have you done piano before? Like, do you do piano as well, like, or is it really mostly to create the riffs? And because they both are good approaches.
With me and piano, I started to learn again most recently around like between January and April. It's all blending together this year.
Cool.
But I'm not a good player of piano. My left hand, right hand skills are very poor. But I'm learning, which is great because Simply is a really great app. If anyone needs to learn how to play Dark, I would definitely look up the app Simply, and they've got Simply Piano, Simply Guitar, and Simply Voice.
Ooh.
And it'll teach you how to play any of the three. And read music, which I already know how to do because of chorus, and that's what made piano so much easier to learn.
Right.
Like I pretty much have it down. I know my chords at this point. I know all of that. With guitar, same thing. Like, I know my chords, but I could not read tabs to you at all.
Gotcha.
Like, that doesn't make sense to me, but chords do.
Oh, no, I understand that. I mean, I don't think I can read tabs at this point either. Like, guitar tabs? Like you know, like where the numbers are and all that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I would not be able to tell you about that. I can read piano sheet music. All right, although it'll take a while. But no, I think that's really good, though, because knowing what chord is no small thing at all. Like, and it'll set you up for the kind of music you want to build. And I've seen, and it just looks like so much fun what you're doing. Has your work been primarily original work music? Have you done any covers as well?
I did covers when I do my music streams, which it's been a minute. I do covers, and then I have like an original.
Okay.
I used to have 4 originals, and then I scrapped them all, and then I now have 1 original.
Oh, okay.
But I'm trying to make more, and that's the point of Ableton, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
To be able to go back and play something over it, and then be able to sing over it, and go from there.
Yeah.
And I've created a few. Like, I did the Sociopath was one of the first ones that I did on Ableton. And I created it out, and I was really proud of it. And now I listened to it back, and I was like, I really need to fix this. So, again, I'm still a noob, but I can still see how far I've come because of the beginner stuff that I've worked on. But I made a song for my nephew. And then I made a song for my niece. They have the same birthday 1 year apart, which makes life real easy when it comes to remembering birthdays.
Yeah.
But and they're from different. It's from his side and my side, so that's what's really cool about that.
Yeah, definitely.
But I created a song for each of them for their birthday, and they turned out really, really cool.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Well, keep it rolling. I remember watching those before even I've only started doing Ableton like a month ago, and I don't even want to get into that too much because this is not about me tonight, but I do remember, I think I hear your piano.
No, that's not mine.
That's not what that is. Sorry. But Virginia, what's up? We saw you last week on stream. How's it going? It's good to see you.
Hey, the Virginia.
How you doing? Nice to see you. What's happening? Oh, nice. That's great. Shout out to the Virginia folks. got a lot of cool things happening on his channel. But we were just talking about Ableton and how, and I was just saying, like, I feel like I was inspired by what you were doing too. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. Like, it sounds like you can. It's not to say it's easy, because it's not easy. It's very, very complicated. But it seems like what I notice is that you can layer things piece by piece, and then once you do, it gets easier as you go. And I feel like you said that it's gotten easier for you, and you even go back to things you've worked on before and you've been able to make adjustments to it. Like that's awesome to see that you've found it like more and more natural over time.
Yeah, and I think like I said, it all came from the Virtunaut. I wouldn't have been able to do any of this Ableton crap without it. So without them. So it's one of those things where I'm very fortunate to have people in my life who understand Ableton. I mean, even Jerfo being one of them, who understands how it works and what to do. I got told that I was a noob by Delta Crab Music because he had up the first page that comes up, right? You can click tab and it gives you all the lines, or you can hit tab again and it gives you the straight down version where the levels go. And I was like, how do you make anything with the straight down and the levels? Like, where do you put your stuff? Like, I don't understand. And he's like, yeah, I found that if you're new to Ableton, like, that it's hard for you to comprehend what I'm doing. And I was like, you're right. Oh God. I need to get better. I need to get good.
Oh, it's all good. I mean, honestly, like you said, like, it's not like you're going in with like a degree in music or anything per se, right? Like, so I think to start from that all the way from the ground up, it's remarkable how much you've done in such a small amount of time.
Yeah, I'm definitely proud of it. I'm proud of the music that I've been making. It's funny, you were talking about any new songs, and I was featured in one of the Virtunaut songs. So that's out on Spotify as of right now. And I'm featured in that song. So,
yo, that's great. Oh my gosh, that's really cool. And Steeman, what in the world is that? 500 bits? Oh my goodness! Thank you, Steeman. Hey, we got some spicy pizza coming up, pretty good. And Virtunaut says, "Yeah, she did great." Oh, I love that. I love that. If you've got examples of that you'd like to share, we would gladly take them. Probably on Discord. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you have the wherewithal to play audio over the Discord now, but you're welcome to put it on Discord after the show too if you'd like to. So either way, like,
no worries. And I could post the link to the leaving Spotify. If that's okay with you, if it works to post links here. I don't know if it works.
No, you should be good for that. And I'll if it doesn't put it in, I can allow it to. There we go. Goes right in. Cool. So there's the link, folks. Give it a go. And yeah, just put some arrows on it just so you can see. One last question I'll ask. We are taking questions, by the way. So if you have a question for Pandaa, !! Question followed by the question itself. Also, for what it's worth, I'm not telling her to do this. No. You're good.
This is all me. I'm doing this. You're fine.
No, you're good. You're good, Virtunaut. But if you're looking ahead to the Wiki Wednesday series, who are some of the people that you're looking forward to having soon that you have not had yet? Like, in other words, like, what would be your wish list for guests that you might want to have on the show later?
I guess I'll announce my big exciting news that's happening in 2 weeks.
Oh, it's coming up.
So this is not this week, but the week after.
Mm-hmm.
So this week I've got Fat Pandaa, which is 2 A's. And I found her through like the recommended section, which I think is such an interesting thing on Twitch. But she's just darling, and her voice is amazing. As far as her speaking voice is amazing. And so I'm really excited about her. But the following week, I have Mary Amber coming on the show.
Ooh, nice. That's awesome. Wow.
So that was like a huge wish for me, and she said, yeah, she's up to doing it. So
that's a great get. GG, getting Mary
Thank
Amber in the
you.
program. Yeah, y'all.
Yeah.
That's great.
And as of other guests, like I have some few people in mind. I want to do all the people that we went to karaoke with. So
Aw.
I've already messaged Teeny Heels.
Mm-hmm. I think she'll do it.
Jade, right?
Yeah,
that's
Jade.
her name.
Yeah, I think.
Mm-hmm. I'm like Discord her. I haven't heard back yet,
Okay.
but I've also messaged Carmela as one of the people, because I've already done Fenwa, so I wanted to message Carmela. But then Arcade Chris is up in the running. Like all of them. I plan on messaging all of them because I think it's going to be such a good show with them. I want to know more about them. I only got 3 hours with them, and I'd love to know more.
Absolutely. Everyone you've mentioned is really going to be a great interview. I can already feel. In some cases, I can anticipate. In some cases, I've had them on. So I did have Carmela on about 2 years ago, and so now Carmela today has grown so much since then. Like, it's kind of amazing where the music has gone and where her career has gone. So you're gonna get some incredible perspective if you can procure the time to go on with you, and I think that'll be a really great spot. Who are the other ones? Did you mention? I think you said you had Fen, right? You had Fen on a bit ago.
Yeah, I've had Fen on.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
I've had a lot of good people. One of the other people that I am trying to claim right now is procure right now is Canna Clay, who's a really interesting guy. Met him randomly through Crazy Asian. And he just like popped up and he was like, how are you? This is what I do. I talk about Canvas education and I play video games. And I was like, you, sir, need to come on my show. And so that'll be a really interesting conversation because it's such a interesting topic.
Yeah, I'm just preparing, bracing myself for the Bean Boozled. It's coming.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, Alistair? Can we give a shout out to Alistair UK? I owe him a postcard. I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting to do that. I will try to get that going. So let me do this for you in the meanwhile. So this is called Bean Boozled. It's a point redeem on our channel, and basically the way it works is that I take a bean. The bean could be good tasting or bad tasting. It's the same color either for both flavors. So what we have tonight? Well, we're not doing toothpaste, so we will go with this one, this brown one.
How did you do that? What machine did you just use to get a bean?
This is the. Wait. Is the question more a general question or just about the specific?
No. What did you just use to get that bean?
Oh.
What contraption was that?
This is a Bean Boozled container. So the way what you do is that you bring it down. And there's a pillar in there, and it brings the bean up like this. See?
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty slick, right? It's pretty slick. It took me like 2 years to figure out how that worked, but but I got it to work, and it's pretty good.
That's so
I'm
cool.
So let's go ahead and give this a try. Well, not this one. We're gonna do. Yeah, it's a lot easier to do it that way. I used to just like rattle it out of here like this.
Yeah.
Dumb. Anyway, this one's either gonna be cappuccino or liver and onions. You're welcome, Alistair. Liver and onions. It's okay. I'll get through it. It's all good. Welcome. It's all good. All good. But yeah, big props to Jelly Belly for this device. It makes it so easy.
Yeah.
You know what? This might actually be cappuccino because it actually tastes more like coffee. So maybe I got a good one this time.
Coffee and onions?
I'll claim victory. Maybe this is where my taste buds are at right now. I don't know. I'm going to pretend it's a victory. So thank you, Alistair. Stands back from the talent while he recovers. Thanks. I know. Alistair's just, he's so used to them now, it's no fun. It's just I'm desensitized to them. Oh my god.
No.
Oh, It's like Scorched Earth with Bean Boozled. Oh my gosh. So anyway, this has really been a fun time, Panda. What other things are you looking forward to as you continue your journey with streaming and some of the other things you're doing? And I can see there's quite a lot on the pipeline. I'm very excited about that. But what other things are you looking forward to as things go along through the year?
Basically, once I get a better gaming computer, I'll be gaming more frequently again. Because I'm just so scared to now that I'm just not gaming at all. And then as far as the things down the pipeline, I'm really trying to procure some interesting guests. Again, I'm plan on getting the whole gambit of people who were at that roundtable karaoke. Along with, I'm going to try to get a few others. I don't want to name them out because if they don't want to do it, then I'm not going to be like, you know. But also definitely going to try adding goals because I don't have any sub goals or subathon goals or whatever. I do, however, hold on a second. Wait, pause. Give me a second. Da 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 da. I have, come on, about
we're all pausing.
596 followers. Oh. And I'm trying so hard to get to 600.
Let's go. Okay, so folks, here's a link. Boom. Get that link right there. If you're not following the Rusty Panda, get your life right and follow our friend Panda.
I've been trying. I was so excited because I remember having my 400th celebration, and then I blinked and I was at like 510.
Yes. Oh man,
because I was at 400 at April. And now I'm at 600 by the beginning of November. And that, to me, treads in a very positive direction.
Yes.
So I'm not always about numbers, but I'm really excited about what that shows to me.
It's great to see, though. I mean, I think channel growth is such a big thing, and I'm happy for you, too. Because like I said, like it's a quality show. Like your Wiggy Wednesday shows are definitely good times. Like I've enjoyed the people you've had on, and I love the ideas you have for the future. And I'd love to, let me know what I can do. I'd love to help you with some of, as far as the round table we were talking about. I'll get on the horn too. I'll see if some feelers out. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I think that it might come down to, also eventually, I don't want it to see, I have mixed feelings about this. I don't want to open it up I want it to be an invite only and not so much like, do you want to be on the Rusty Panda's Wiki Wednesday show? Contact her here. Because then if it's a guest that I don't feel very comfortable with or whatever, then I don't want to have to say no or like. So part of me thinks that there's eventually a time where I'm going to have to do that and then I'll be able to uptick again and then find another group of people. But, oh, wow, Alistair. I'm sorry to hear that.
I didn't even know about that. I'm sorry, Alistair. Alistair says, poor me has dropped. First of all, I didn't know people would unfollow you. That seems a little messed up. I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
But with the dude having a heart attack and not streaming. But I'm back and coming back harder. Watch out, Davey. I'm after your ass. That's our Alistair. Well, it's good. I'm glad you're back, my friend. I'm really sorry about your health situation, though. I've not streamed for a while. Oh, okay. Well, you'll get everything back and more, my friend. I do. We go way back. Like the two of us have like, Alistair's been following the Sandwich Show since it started, basically. So yeah, we're rooting for you, buddy. But yeah, Panda, like that's I know what you're getting at too, as far as booking guests. Like I always feel similarly that way, where it's like you want to make sure you get someone that you feel like you really want, that you want to get to know. If it's just someone that someone else mentions to you, sometimes that actually worked out really well, right? But I can understand your concern. Like, you don't want to get someone that you don't know that well on the show, because I don't feel like you might worry that the rapport will not be the same, and it's understandable.
I also don't want it to be an elite thing.
Right.
Like, I, fill out a form or send something in to be a part of the show. Like, I don't ever want it to feel that way.
Yeah.
But I also feel like there are people who I just don't jive with, or might be too politically charged, or whatever, and I don't want to have to tell them, like, no, we can't talk about this.
Oh, I see.
Because I'll say it. I will say it. It's just I don't like saying it. Like, it's not something where I'm like, this is your show, but no, I have to censor you.
Yeah, 100%. Well, but at the end of the day, it's your show. So if you don't feel comfortable with the direction that someone's going with in what they're talking about, then I think it's in your right to let them know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's right. I mean, that's also part of the recruiting process. It's getting to get the sense of who would be compatible for the kind of show you're trying to do. And there actually is a lot more thought to it than folks might realize. Like, certainly on my end, like, that's definitely part of the process for me. And honestly, I don't think you see a ton of that on Twitch necessarily anyway, but you're right. There are people who are out there that you do want to make sure that there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying it's just may not be your feel, and it's not my feel either. Like, I want something, we're here to have fun. We're have a good time and get to know what you do. And that's what we really want to focus things. Not necessarily about, broader topics that, I mean, surely it's hard to really get into, but I basically agree with what you're getting at too. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Alistair, he was on my show, okay? And I had to tell Davey that even though he put his 15 things in order of what he thought we were going to talk about in that order.
Yeah.
And I had to tell him that that's not how this goes, and I will be driving this conversation.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Also just giving us shit. It's all good.
Oh yeah, no, and you were a wonderful guest.
Thank you.
It's to have a I can only imagine what it feels like being on the other end. Like, it's weird being the interviewer and now being the interviewee. Like, it's
a fascinating position. I think I get more nervous being interviewed by people than I do just interviewing people. It doesn't make any sense, but I think it's because I don't know enough about what kind of questions you would ask. So it's exciting, but I'm also a little nervous about it. Like, I just want to make sure I have a good response for everything. But every time I do it, it's been fun, and I've really enjoyed and I love being on the other end of it. It's just exciting. Like, it's always fascinating. What's it like to it's a huge honor for me. Like, I just think of myself as a presenter. So to think that I'm one of the people being featured in any of these shows really means a lot. So thank you for considering me for that.
For considering me for this. I mean, this has been a blast, and I'm honored to. It's like when you go into one of those restaurants and you see all those famous people on the wall.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, I'm eating where royalty has sat. And now I feel like that's what I've been with your show. Like,
you will now
there's been royalty that has walked through this.
Absolutely.
This show.
You will have a framed caricature drawing of yourself now on this wall right here. In lights.
Exactly. And there's your autograph that I'll get for you.
Oh, yes.
Like King wants, I'll make King jealous.
That's so cool. Yeah. Davey needs a collage of people who have been on the show. Yeah, I mean, that would be an amazing visual. And we were just talking at the beginning of the show about a collage of sandwiches, which I also think I need to do. Like, I think that needs to happen as well. So, great ideas. Yeah. And wouldn't have a wall big enough. No, I think at this point, with the show now being almost 2.5 years old, very much the case, Alistair, it's rather remarkable how much has happened It's just funny to think about how many people you talk to, right, in a show like that. How many people would you say you've interviewed at this point? It must be
every Wednesday since January,
mm-hmm.
except for TwitchCon and like a few like straggler weeks. So I mean, there's what 52 weeks in a year minus like December. Mm-hmm. So probably around 40 people, maybe something like that.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. And to be able to do that every week is a really big thing too, because that's a lot of work. I'm gonna tell you that's recruiting people, organizing the time, prep, all that. Like that's a lot of work. So I'm big time GG to you for that. Like I'm great. I'm glad it's going well, and I'm glad it's moving along. It's really, really cool. Like what you've built so far and what we are continuing to build. And so, I would say you're getting to 500. Well, I mean, we've had people back too, though. So, like, it's a little different over here because I usually at least once a month I try to bring it back. I bring back returning guests. So that's also part of the. So once your show starts getting into like the next year or the next year after that, that might be happening on your channel too. But that's also something I like to do because it maintains continuity and it's just fun to bring back some people that we've had before. Yeah.
Been considering that as well as far as bringing back people, but again, I want to give it a year.
Oh, absolutely 100%. Yeah, I think that's solid. It's a solid call. I think Alistair's probably right. Alistair's saying getting close to 500 plus, and if we can work out the time zone, sure, absolutely, Alistair, we would certainly get you back on the channel. Alistair's actually been on the channel before, but it was in order to troll my cousin Firelord Critch at the time, which was really fun. That was really fun. But at any rate, I mean, I've certainly had at least 100 people on the show because you have to consider like the karaoke shows too, which like can be up to like 10 people sometimes. So all together, yeah, it's gotta be definitely at least 100, maybe 200, maybe more than that. Like it's 500 is not that far up. Yeah,
it adds up. If you do another karaoke stream, though, this time I'll be available for it and not in New Jersey helping my brother. So, family comes first.
Oh, absolutely.
I would absolutely love to.
Yeah, and we are so excited to have you back. And I'm just thinking about how many people are interested in that show. The next karaoke stream we do is going to be amazing. It's going to be such a good group.
Great.
Can't wait to do it. Okay, so Panda, thanks again for doing this. Any final thoughts before we raid on out?
Thank you so much. I appreciate you and the show for being such a pioneer for all talk shows. Really, if you've been doing this for 2.5 years, then I mean, you're doing a great job. And if seeing you in this context and being an interviewee, I mean, you are doing a fantastic job as an interviewer.
Thank you. That's really nice. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be here and happy to have been here, and I hope that we'll be hopefully doing a Portal stream soon. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm on it. So we get the Portal. That'll be a fun time. Portal 2, folks. We've been talking about this. We're negotiating the time and the day. That was gonna be a good stream. Like let's do it. Let's do it for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep. Thank you, Virtual. You're very kind as well. Yeah, that's really nice of you to say. It's been a labor of love for sure, and I'm looking forward to the future as well. And I'm looking forward to your future. So don't just last thing before we go. Do not forget to tune in to the Rusty Panda tomorrow. You're gonna have Panda with Panda and Panda.
Okay. It's Monday.
Oh, it's on Monday? Okay.
So no, today is Monday. It's on Wednesday, so it's not tomorrow. It's on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, it is Monday. You're right. So not tomorrow. Sorry, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
So 2 days, 2 nights from now. Catch our friend the Rusty. Thank you for catching that. Wow, I almost messed everybody up. But I thought it was Wednesday on a Tuesday. Like, no, that was my fault.
We really like to change things around on here. Wiki Wednesday is going to get moved to Friday, and nobody's going to know what to do.
That really screwed people. Oh my gosh. Woo. No, Wednesday, friends, catch our friend the Rusty Panda with Fat Panda. I'm looking forward to that conversation. Like that's like a good conversation. So really cool. But thanks again, Panda. This has been so much fun. My best to Galvos as well. Have a great rest of your night, and let's go find someone to raid. Let's see. We gotta find. Whoa, what's going on over here? Wow. Okay. Panda, question. Are any of the 4 halves of Magic on right now?
I believe so. Chan the Magic Man and Hollowthorn, I believe, are both on. So let me double check for you.
Okay. Let's head in that direction. That sounds like a really fun way to go.
Yeah, Chan the Magic Man is going. How long has he been going? He's been going. Oh, right now he's doing the Chan the Demon Man. He is on his 1-year anniversary stream. So he's an autistic magician. And right now he's doing a bit with Alchemmutation, Bob the White Demon. And they're doing a fun little bit right now.
I think it's a good call. Let's do it. Friends, thank you again. Can we give some mod love in the chat too for King for all his help tonight? And shout outs to Virtual Not All-Star UK and all the cool people who've hung out with us tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out, everybody. Copy those raid calls. We're going to go look for Chan the Magic Man. I'll make sure I get the handle right. And give our friend a follow once you get there. I will do the same. And again, Panda's streaming every week. Wiki Wednesdays are on Wednesdays, just to be clear. Make sure I get that right. Thank you. Chan the Magic Man. Let's start the raid. We'll hang out with our friend Chan the Magic Man. I got it. I love it. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your night, everyone. Thank you, Panda, for hanging out. It was really, really, really fun. If you missed any part of it, you can catch our replay here on Twitch and on YouTube a little bit later in the week. Thanks again. We'll see ya probably on... I think it's going to be tomorrow. I'm going to double check. I'll get back to you on Discord and let you know. I think it'll be tomorrow, though. We'll do something tomorrow. But definitely, good to see you. Bye, everybody. Have a good one. Don't forget to follow Chan the Magic Man, too. Bye, everybody. Take care. See you later. Follow the Chan the Magic Man. One of the 4 halves of magic. Yay!